Thank you so much for joining us, and we are continuing our conversations here at the 7th Botswana International HIV/AIDS Conference 2018. And today I'm with one of the exhibitors here at the conference. I'm with Linda Dobo, who is working for PharmaVision. PharmaVision is a pharmaceutical company, and as we know, conversations around pharmaceuticals always surround HIV/AIDS conversations. Thank you so much, Linda, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So Linda, tell us a little bit about what you do at PharmaVision.
So I'm the marketing manager at PharmaVision.
Right.
So PharmaVision is part of a bigger group of companies. Mm-hmm. So the parent company is called Avicare.
Right.
So Avicare is present pretty much it started in the southern part of Africa, mm-hmm. but we're slowly moving up there.
Right.
So PharmaVision is a local branch. We started in 2001,
yes.
And we are a pharmaceutical distributor.
Right.
Yes.
So you distribute generic HIV medications.
Yes. So one of our lines, or one of our houses as we call them, is BONELA Pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Yes. So they actually, their main business mm-hmm. is ARVs, so generic ARVs.
Right.
So basically, once the patent is finished on a new drug, they come in, make it much cheaper, much more affordable. So you'll find that in developing countries like
right.
here and other parts of Africa, mm-hmm. they supply a lot of drugs. Yeah, a lot of ARVs.
So tell me a little bit about this generic versus branded medications for HIV. What is that all about? What is the difference? Why should we, particularly in Southern Africa, be promoting generic drugs as compared to the branded version?
Yes. So you'll find the brand names or the brand name drugs, generally it's not only in ARVs,
right.
but in general, those companies will develop the drugs. So they'll take it from conception all the way to actually releasing it onto
right.
the market. But they'll have a patent that obviously lasts a certain amount of time.
Right.
Because they have that advantage, it tends to be very expensive.
Is that the intellectual property?
Intellectual property, yeah.
Right.
So obviously they've put in a lot of money to develop it, so they
right.
want to, of course, get back their money,
right.
as well as providing the drug for people.
Right.
So once that patent expires, then generic companies like BONELA and so many other ones come in, and they're actually able to take that that technology, so that molecule, and actually develop a drug that's similar to the originator one.
Right.
Yeah. So BONELA, it's one of the biggest generic companies.
Right.
And it's trusted in that regard because they're actually able to make drugs which are the same quality as the brand names.
Yeah. So there's the issue of quality
yes.
when it comes to generics.
Yeah. So when people hear generics, that's usually the topic that comes up, that generics are inferior, generics are not good drugs, that we don't know what they're doing.
Right.
But BONELA is one of the companies that actually goes out of their way to make sure that the drug is as good as the originator. They do bioequivalence. They make sure that everything is up to scratch.
Right.
We get approved, in the US, in Europe,
right.
even in African countries, by the health, the health board,
right.
the Ministry of Health, whatever it may be.
So in Botswana right now, we shouldn't worry about the quality of the generic drugs that we're getting.
Yes, well, I would generally say that. You
mm-hmm.
shouldn't worry about the ones that are coming from us at PharmaVision.
From PharmaVision,
yeah.
yes.
I mean, the Ministry of Health is pretty vigilant
right.
in terms of making sure that drugs coming into the country are of good quality. Yeah. So as long as you're buying it from a pharmacy,
right.
and you're getting it from, you're getting a prescription from your doctor,
right.
You should be good.
You should be getting the perfect
You should
drug.
be getting the good drugs.
So you're talking about them having generics may possibly offer the same treatment as branded. Is there any difference in how we respond to the branded and generic brands?
You mean in terms of, say, like side effects?
Yes.
So most of the time, as I said, BONELA will try to do a bioequivalence. So what that basically means is it's exactly the same as the branded
perfect.
Version. Perfect. So that's not always done,
mm-hmm.
and then you may find that there are certain things that come up according to how they constituted the drug compared
right.
to the originator that may cause side effects.
Right.
But you'll find the active ingredient that's actually helping most of the time will be exactly the same as the
right. And I know that generics are said to be the more affordable.
Definitely. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that and why specifically for our region we are promoting generics.
So they're more affordable because, of course, Mylan, for example, if they get to manufacture a drug after a patent has expired,
right,
they are not having to pay back that cost of developing the drug,
right, the investment,
all that investment.
Right.
They are just taking it now and saying, okay, we're going to manufacture it, the same drug, but because we don't have all those costs, we can make it a lot cheaper. Some of the drugs are manufactured in countries where it's cheaper to manufacture or more cost effective to manufacture.
Right.
So then that actually ends up being a cost saving to particularly the developing world.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know, I know that you actually have some genetics, some kind of background in it. Tell us a little bit about what you studied there.
So I studied genetics at honors level.
Right.
So human genetics. So I mean, I don't know how much you know about genetics.
Very
it's a bit difficult to talk about it. Actually, there was a presentation on Wednesday.
Yes.
And he also said the same, that, you know, people tend to misunderstand genetics a lot, and they think we're making babies in test tubes and all those kind of weird things.
We don't know what you guys are up to
exactly, in the lab.
Yes.
So basically, I mean, everybody has genes. Everyone has DNA. So it's the study of DNA, the study of genes. That's genetics. Yeah.
The study of what makes me
makes
my identity.
Yeah. So basically, it's so important because the reason why, for example, take with HIV, why some people don't develop the virus even though they've been exposed to it, it's in their genetics.
Right.
Yeah. So you might have heard of those kind of stories of people who don't acquire HIV and they're studying them to find out why.
Yes.
Yeah. So genetics usually, it's involved in everything. Even when it comes to drugs you're taking, the way you react versus how I react.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very interesting field.
I think before we go too technical and I get lost in the moment, thank you so much, Linda, for having this conversation with us.
You're welcome.
Let us know if there's any other news that is coming from the pharmaceutical side that you would like to share with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.